So, well, first of all, stop if you've heard this before. You ready? Wow, it's going to be a really bad pothole season in Montreal this year.
Uh-huh.
Never heard that before, except for last year, the year before that, the year before that, the year before that, and the year before that. Not to mention the year before that.
Can I just tell you that overnight this week, it got worse. Like I drove down
Sure.
Wilson Street in NDG on, I don't know, Sunday or Monday. And then the very next day I drove it and it's like they all just sprung with spring.
Because we went from freezing to thaw, right? And that's what always sets this thing off, makes it worse. But I bring this up. I have unfortunately had the experience, at least from what when you have to count how many flat tires, you know it's a bad season.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's 2, but it might have been 3. So this happens to me the other day. I called my friend Paul over at Silver Star and I said, look, I got a flat.
Again.
And he laughed.
Yeah.
That was his first. He said, what are you doing? I said, hey, you know what's going on out there? Sometimes, depending where you are, sometimes they're snow covered. You can't even see them. And
Don't make excuses.
Okay. He looks up my file and says, when you bought your car, you bought a tire and rim protection. You have insurance. I'm like,
What?
oh, of course. I knew that. Thankfully, they have it on file because it's expensive to replace tires and, if you damage your rim.
Sure it is.
And I thought to myself, because we talked about this and I mentioned to you that had happened to me. And then I found out, I thought I was going to be at another few $100 here. And I found that, no, I bought insurance when I bought my car, which covers you up to a certain amount of money every year for however many years you buy it.
Okay, but then the last flat that you got, you didn't know that you had the insurance,
Right.
So you didn't use it.
And they're going to cover that too.
What?
Yeah, because that's why I have insurance. Then I thought, okay, wait a sec. Can anybody buy tire and rim insurance when you buy a car? And what if you already have a car, not a new car, and you want to add that on? Can you? And apparently you can. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to find out more. I know it's the end of the season, but then again, if you could protect yourself even for next year.
What do you
By the
mean
way,
it's the
you're
end
right.
of the-
You're right. Okay, I knew it as soon as
What
I
are you
said
talking
it.
about?
Okay,
The season runs 12 months a
Fair
year,
enough.
24 hours a day. Plus, this is the worst season.
Yes.
This is when they all come out.
City is apparently planning to fill. You're not ready for this number unless this is a typo. Emily, you sure this is the right number? 110,000 potholes to be filled, cost $3.5 million. So yes, they're everywhere and they're getting worse. George Gini is director of the APA, the Automobile Protection Association. He's on the line right now. Hey, George.
Hi there.
So I mentioned my situation, which was I'm lucky enough to have found out, and thanks to my guy who looked up my file because I'd completely forgotten, I have tire and rim protection insurance. Can anybody buy this?
You can buy it. If you're buying replacement tires, the a tire retailer will offer it to you, and it's usually significantly cheaper than what a car dealer would offer you on a new vehicle. But it may only cover the tires and not the rims as well. So that would be a question that you could ask. Let me ask you a question. What are you driving?
You mean what kind of car?
Yeah, like is it a car?
No,
is
it's a small SUV.
Yeah, like 80% of other new vehicle buyers, you're driving an SUV,
Yeah.
sport utility. So half the problem has to do with the rims and tires that are put on your car when it leaves the factory. They're actually not designed for going off-road. Even the vehicle, in theory, is supposed to be able to go off paved roads. And the car makers treat wheel and tire packages like costume jewelry. They look nice, and they have very little concern for what that may mean down the road in terms of maintenance and repair.
Oh.
Huh. And particularly for our climate, I would imagine.
I would say for our roads
Okay.
more
yeah.
than our climate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
So
point,
you-
George.
What ends up happening is the tires have what are called low profile.
Yeah.
So relatively speaking, you have more space devoted to a large wheel and less space devoted to the sidewall of the tire.
Exactly.
And it just provides a very poor air cushion. In some cases, also, vehicles have what are called run-flat tires.
Are those bad
And-
too?
Yeah, to be able to run, first of all, a run-flat tire only runs flat once. After you get a flat, you can keep driving the car, but usually it has to be replaced. It's often you can't repair it at all, so it's expensive. But a run-flat tire needs a stiff sidewall so that it can run flat with no extra air pressure in it. And that means typically it will transmit more of the shock from the pothole to the rim, and so you get rim damage with run-flat tires more often.
Okay, I want to go back to what you said off the top. I wasn't even aware of that. You're saying that if you were to buy tires from a retailer, never mind your car dealer, right? You go ahead and go to a retailer, they can sell you insurance on tires?
Yes, they'll sell you what's called a road hazard insurance. So that will replace one or sometimes even two tires if they're on the same axle. in the event of damage to the tire that makes it unrepairable. Now, in some cases, it's prorated, so you won't get the full money back. And I'm not sure if in all cases you could get rim coverage as well, because that's also where a lot of the value is. In a package like what you got, your rim will cost quite a bit more than a tire if you have to change it.
I'm wondering, too, would you recommend that for people? I mean, does it make sense to buy tire insurance?
You know, it kind of does. I just wish the dealers who sold it didn't mark it up so badly. But if you're using the dealer for service and you're getting a sport package on a European car, like a low-profile tire with a larger rim, then it's probably worth the money, worth your having it, even though dealership's probably making a 50 to 100% commission on the sale.
What kind of cost are we talking about here, George? Because can you give us a ballpark figure?
On just tires, it would be under $100. If you're doing a purchase for a set of 4.
That's pretty good.
A one-time cost of $100.
Yeah.
Okay, and then with rims?
But on tire and rims, it sort of the sky's the limit, and usually it's expressed in so many dollars per month. Most people don't even ever total it completely.
Okay. All right. I would ask I guess the next obvious question is, have you heard stories this year or problems that people have had, or do you hear these stories with potholes?
Well, we're just starting at this point this year for what I would call pothole season. You know, the typical question is, who can I claim from? That's what people want to know. Mm-hmm. For most municipalities, it's a very short delay. It's 15 days. And for Montreal, you're going to have to show some degree of negligence. In other words, just the fact that a pothole is there doesn't mean they're on the hook. The legislation, in fact, is written to make them not responsible for damage to suspensions and tires. You'd have to go and prove that they were clearly negligent and not looking after something. The other option, if it's really bad, we have had cases where people have had 3 rims damaged and 2 tires blown out. In that case, it might be worth making an insurance claim when you're looking at a few $1,000s to replace them.
Okay.
But of course, that's a claim. So if you have other claims, it will see your premium going up.
Right. Okay.
George, can you give us any advice how to avoid having this happen to us? You can't avoid hitting potholes. It's going to happen. But what can we do in terms of safety, our tires, to avoid ending up with a flat?
Is spending more money to buy the best tire you can a reasonable way to go?
No.
Okay.
Because it won't provide you more protection. But spending some money to buy cheap steel wheels for winter that are smaller than your originals.
Steel wheels, right.
Or inexpensive alloy wheels if your car won't take steel wheels, again, that are smaller than the originals on winter tires, will give you a little extra edge, a little bit more of a margin.
I have one last thing, actually 2 last things. You saw the story, the woman this week who actually won money from the government, like $450, and then the government refused to pay her. This was for pothole damage, forcing her to go back to court and waste another day. Did you see that story?
No, I'm stunned. I can't believe it.
And by stunned, you mean you're not stunned at all, right?
No, I am.
Are you really?
She won.
She got money.
She had a court ordered it.
Yeah, and then they appealed.
Pay?
The government appealed. She said they'd already, that pothole had been noted, I think, 5 or 6 times as having been there, had not been fixed. She ends up going over it, damaging her car. She gets the money, and then the government says, I think the government's story was their lawyer had a reason he couldn't be there that day, so they want to have the thing heard again. All this for $450.
Right, and not to have a decision against them.
Exactly.
Showing negligence in the maintenance of the roadway. They don't like that. The city, certainly the city of Montreal is hard to collect from, but they do have a mechanism where you can write them. If you are thinking of a claim, get your evidence very quickly. Take the photos, get an estimate on the damage within a day or 2 of it happening.
Okay.
And you have a very short window to make a claim.
How does air pressure come into play here? Does it matter if your tires are overinflated or underinflated?
Yes, if your tire is seriously underinflated, so 4 pounds or more, there's less of a cushion.
Okay.
The more inflated, the better.
For more damage.
Yeah. Okay.
This doesn't happen as much because most vehicles now have onboard tire sensing. And with the mandatory changeover in the spring and fall, again, most vehicles, the tire pressures are at least checked twice a year. So it isn't as big an issue as it once was.
Okay. Last question. We keep running out of time. The last question I have, when I asked you about insurance and you're saying you can buy from a retailer, I looked online before we went on today, and there's a company called, Canada West or Great West that will actually sell you. Is it good to buy from a third party if you're buying tire and rim insurance or not?
I don't have experience with it.
Okay.
So that will vary based on what's in the policy and also whether the company pays. So we would have to speak to people who sell it or who have experience
and
with
find
claims
out.
on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
George, thank you. I appreciate the time.
Pleasure.
George Gini over at the Automobile Protection Association. If you're out there getting your tires, flat tires, because of all these
Like
potholes and whatever else, like me. 317, let's go to traffic. CJD 800 Traffic Center, Lauren Glazer.